Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I try to teach you all the degree theory by the late Nikola Stojanovic. In this video, I am going to show you how to apply the degree theory to 5 charts of different presidents. So let me explain how this video came about. I was, I watch videos on YouTube as well, right? I not only make them, but I also watch other people's. And I came across this young man who turns out to be the president of El Salvador. And what caught my attention it was that he was young and, he was the president. Mind you, he's in his 40s, right? So, because then I started to investigate, and I'm like, okay, he's not that young, but he looks very young. And to have such an important, position, that's what got me interested. And it happened to coincide with one of my Spanish viewers asking me to do the chart of the president of Argentina. So, I said, okay, so let me take a look at these two men's chart. But then I said, yeah, you know what, while I'm doing this, let me look at the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, and the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. So today in this video, we're going to be looking at that. We're going to be looking at Javier Milei, who is the president of Argentina. We are going to be looking at um, Nayib Bukele, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name correctly, who is the president of El Salvador. So as a reminder, in order to use the degree theory, it is applied to number one, Western astrology, number two, the Placidus house system. It will not work with any other form, right? Not the whole sign system. Not the whole sign house system, not sidereal astrology. This is Western astrology using the Placidus system. On top of that, the disclaimer that I want to use, I am not a political person. I will not use any opinions of mine, what I think or what I don't think. I'm just going to be reading the charts as I see them, right? The other thing that I did, because I spent a lot of time doing, the bits and pieces of this video, right? I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought about, let's see, how the fixed stars apply to these people's charts, to these men's charts, because, you know, not everybody can be president of their country, correct? So what makes them so special? And you will see what I mean by, there are no coincidences in life. Now, the fixed stars are from ancient astrology. Okay. They did not know they're only about the 7 visible planets, although I went ahead and I did it for all the points 11 points in the natal chart, the ascendant, the midheaven, and then the planets, right? So what we'll see is what correlation they have to the planets and, like I said, the points. Now, for this purposes, when you are using ancient astrology, the fixed stars, they, according to my teacher, the one that taught me the degree theory, we're looking at exact conjunctions. Okay, exact conjunctions to the sun, the moon, the ascendant, or the chart ruler of you know, of the natal chart. So the orb is either exact or within 1 degree. There are no sextiles, there are no trines, there are no squares or oppositions, none of that. It's just exact conjunctions. So, having said that, I will share with you my sources, okay, so that you know where I've got this information. Number one, this is the website that I used. It's astromcouncil.com. And this is a repost of Linda Goodman's forum. So Linda Goodman is an astrologer that, I mean, she's amazing. She has written several books. So I use this as a source, and this is a list. Now, not every degree is going to have an association with a fixed star. You can see here, 1 degree, 3 minutes in Aries, curb is the fixed star, right? 2 degrees, 35 minutes. I don't know how I'm not going to pronounce that. Um, but then it jumps to 9 degrees and 9 minutes of Aries. So not every degree has an association with a fixed star. I also used this chart that I made because anybody that is reading a chart should know the rulership, the exaltation, the detriments, and the fall of the planets. And this is the grid for the degree theory. In traditional astrology, you can see that Jupiter rules Pisces and Saturn rules Aquarius. That is not the case for the degree theory. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. And then on top of that, I went ahead and I did each president or former president. I went ahead and analyzed, like I listed all the fixed stars that are conjoined with a point in their chart, right? So that was Donald Trump. This is Vladimir Putin. Then Joe Biden, Javier Milei. In English, it's Xavier, but in Spanish, it's Javier. And Nayib Bukele. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this gentleman's name correctly, but that's as close as I'm going to get. All right, so the first chart that I am going to do, because of, like I said, one of the Spanish viewers wanted me to do the president of Argentina, and this should be an I. So his ascendant is conjunct with Polaris and Betelgeuse. Now, you can tell that Betelgeuse is not a good star. It brings calamities, danger, and violence. So it's an unfortunate star. But it's also conjoined Polaris, which brings sickness, trouble, loss, affliction, and spiritual power. It's also an unfortunate star. So let me go and pull up the chart for this president, which is the first one that we are going to do. And again, I'm just going to explain what the chart is. Now, when I did the analysis, he has 7 out of the 11 points in the chart in conjunction with a fixed star. He is a Gemini rising at the degree of Gemini, so this man can talk. Geminis like to talk a lot, and then at the degree of Gemini, that would even, he's a double Gemini. His sun is in Libra, and if you look at the grid that I did, you could see that Libra is at the fall, right? Is in fall. I mean, the sun is in fall because the sun is exalted in Aries, and it is the ruler of Leo. So he would be somebody important in, the fourth house is, in a typical chart, it is our home, our parents, our family, right? But when we're talking about mundane astrology and we're looking at presidents' charts, so the fourth house would deal with the homeland, right? And then the moon in mundane astrology would rule the population of that country, right? So uh, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands, because when you look at the leaders chart, then we need to change a little bit what the meaning of the planets, right? So, um, according to my teacher, there are three types of leaders. There are three signs that are leaders. Okay. The first one is Aries. Aries is the type of leader that says, follow me. I will show you the way. I will be the example that you need to follow. So, for example, if we were talking about a general, this is the type of general that would tell his men, okay, I will lead you into battle. All right, so that's Aries. Leo, Leo is a type of leader that says, you do this, the second person will do something else, and the third person will do X, right? And I'm going to stand back and I'm going to watch you and make sure that things are done correctly. So, Leo, with that same analogy, would be the type of general that sends out his men to battle, but then stays behind to, strategize and to, he's not involved in the direct battle. And the third sign is Capricorn. Capricorn will climb over dead bodies to get to wherever they need to go. So those are the three signs that are leaders in the zodiac, according to my teacher. Now, he has the moon in Leo at the 10th degree, which is the degree of Capricorn. So he is going to lead the people, right? The moon, and he is going to use Capricornian ways. So this would indicate that he could be a harsh leader in monetary issues because it's the second house. He will be strict. He will use discipline, probably unpopular things. Oh, and by the way, I don't know any of these people personally. I haven't done any research as far as like when the elections are in the countries. I mean, I know the United States is in November because, I live here in the US. But I don't know what they've done for a living. I don't know, I I'm just reading the chart. Okay. So, um, like I said, he's gonna lead the people in economic matters, right? Money in Capricornian ways. So very strict, very disciplined, and he will probably talk a lot about it because it's at the third degree, which is the Gemini degree. Eh, now, the sun is in Libra, which is at a not a good place, not right, not the best. It's at fall, so you know, for the leader of a country to have the sun in Libra is not. I don't know if he's going to last very long in this position, but we'll see what happens later on. He can speak very well because he has Mercury in Libra, so he'll be very diplomatic and soft. He can be very diplomatic and soft when he speaks, very politically correct, polite. All Libras are like that, and it's at the degree of Taurus. So he will be speaking about money things, okay? Money topics. So, like I said, his rising is conjunct Betelgeuse, and his moon is conjunct a fixed star called Gienstar, which is excellent for it has an analytical mind, but there's also a danger of accidental poisoning. And the second house does talk about the food that we eat. So he has to be careful with what he eats. So um, right now, Saturn is hovering here. and Saturn will eventually make it to his midheaven. So my take on this is, and I don't know when the elections are in Argentina, but if when Saturn gets here, which will be probably in about 2 years or so, maybe a little bit more, when Saturn gets to the midheaven, he might lose his position, especially if he hasn't followed the Capricorn way, Saturn, right? The, you have to be disciplined, you have to be structured, you have to be honest, you know, high morals, etc. So when Saturn gets here, we will see if he will continue to be the president of Argentina or he will lose power. And I think that's all I wanted to say. Yes, I believe so. So let's go. And I want to show you the list of President Putin. Here, Vladimir Putin. He is the president of Russia, and he has 11 out of 11 points conjunct with a fixed star. So what cut, and here's the list. So if you guys want to go do your research on that website that I showed you, be my guest. The one that caught my attention was Speaker. Wealth, fame, honor, glamour, the fortunate one. And it's a very fortunate fixed star. And you will see how interesting this man's chart is. So now I am going to bring up his charts. All right, so this is President Putin's chart. He is a Libra sun at the degree of Aries. And the sun, if any planet is within 3 degrees of the house cusp, it could be read in both houses, just so you all know. So the sun can be read in the 12th house. And he has a stellium in Libra. Saturn, which is at the degree of the 17th degree, which is the degree of Leo, to be a leader, and Saturn, who is the ruler of Capricorn, is in the 12th house. So this man he can be not such a nice person, let's put it that way. He can have a very heavy hand in what he does behind the scenes. Now, Neptune is in Libra at 21 degrees, which is the degree of Sag. So it deals with foreign companies, foreigners, foreign countries, everything that is ninth house related. And then lastly, Mercury is at the 23rd degree, which is at the degree of Aquarius. So this man is brilliant. He is very smart. Now, Neptune in the 12th house is one of the signatures for being a spy. And we all know, or you should know, that he was part of the KGB. So he was a spy in foreign matters. Okay, the degree of Sagittarius. So, now he is a Scorpio rising at the degree of Gemini. So again, using the mind and the speech for scorpionic things. Now, Scorpio, anybody that's a Scorpio rising, they like to know everybody's business. They want to know everything about you. They investigate you. They try to learn as much as they can from you. However, their life is top secret. So, that is just Scorpio, not just Vladimir Putin, but Scorpio rising. So now, he has a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes on. And you can see that Neptune is sextiling Pluto, right? So he did kill people, right? 10th house. And he is a person, the to kill or be killed is the 22nd degree, which is the degree of Capricorn in Leo. So he is a leader that can kill people. He has the moon in Gemini at the second degree, which is uh, the degree of supreme power in the eighth house. So he has brought a lot of death to a lot of people. Now, the seventh house is, marriage, long-term relationships, and stuff like that, but it's also open enemies. So open enemies, he has a lot of open enemies. You have to wonder why. Um, now he has the ninth house is starts in Cancer, which we all know that the United States is ruled by Cancer, and he has Uranus at the 18th degree, which is a malefic degree. So, Uranus represents airplanes, it represents bombs, explosions, things that happen suddenly. So, um, foreign countries need to be conscientious of what he has in his chart. So, again, this is the chart of Vladimir Putin, who is the president of Russia. I'm just looking at my notes to see if, well, yeah, here we go. Neptune in the 12th house rules, Neptune rules very spiritual stuff, right? But it could also rule criminal activity. So this man has done a lot of stuff behind the scenes, right? So I will stop there. Let's look at the next president, which, so the next president that I want to talk to you guys about is Nayib Bukele, which is the young man that caught my attention. Let me see where I have his information. Because I saw a clip on YouTube of him and it said the president of El Salvador. And he looked very young to be a president, so I got curious. Turns out that he's in his 40s, so he's not that young. So that makes sense. So he was very like he didn't mince any words in what he was talking about, right? He just said it very nonchalantly. I mean, I guess he said what was on his mind, and you will see how his chart reflects just that. So the two fixed stars that caught my attention were Sirius, the dog star, and it's the prime sun of our galaxy. It denotes ambition, pride, emotionality, fame, leadership, wealth, fires, drought, danger of being, I guess, very impetuous. So it is a fortunate star. And then you have Regulus, which is the royal star, the lion's heart. It is Archangel Raphael, the healing archangel, he's the watcher of the north. It denotes nobility, ambition, alertness, great power, status, leadership, sudden downfall, accidents, and violence, but it is a fortunate star. So I have to pause. So now I'm going to show you his birth chart. Well, before I do that, I have to switch it over here, and I'm using, of course, the Sirius program for all of you that are interested. I mean, Solar Fire. What am I saying? It's Solar Fire. All right, so this is Nayib Bukele, and he is the current president of El Salvador. And like I said, this young man impressed me the way he was talking, and because he was just so blunt, right? And look at this. Is Gemini rising. So he speaks a lot at the degree of Aries. So he does not mince any words. This man says exactly what's on his mind, to the point. He spoke very courageously, very assertive, in the video that I saw. Now, he has 8 out of the 11 points in his chart conjunct fixed stars. So the sun is in Leo at 1 degree, the degree of Aries. So to be a leader times two. So he has, like I said, Gemini at the 13th degree. His moon is in Taurus and it's exalted. So most likely the people do like him, especially because it's in the 11th house. So he would be very popular with the population of El Salvador. And as we said, the moon rules in mundane astrology the inhabitants of the country. Now, Mars is in Cancer in the fourth, at the 4th degree, so it's a double Cancer. This is not a good placement, correct? Because it's, you know, Mars is exalted in Capricorn, so that's not such a good position for him. But Saturn is exalted in Libra, and it's in conjunction with Jupiter in Libra, and it's within a minute. So this is very good. It's, manifestation, right? This is in the 4th house, which is the home country, right? So he manifested being the president of his homeland. So he, I think, will do well. Um, in the 7th house, though, the house of open enemies, he has Neptune in Sagittarius at the 22nd degree. Again, this degree is to kill or be killed. And his midheaven is Pisces. So let's see if we can connect the dots. While he is president, there is a chance that his open enemies, which are foreigners, foreign countries, foreign corporations, right? Because it's at the degree of Capricorn, may try to assassinate him. So that's the way I read it. He needs to be careful. So if anybody knows this gentleman, tell him to watch out. Because while he is president, this can happen. Uh, hopefully it doesn't. But anyway, I just wanted to, like I said, I'm just reading the chart. Um, so, and it will be by a foreign power, not the people of his country. Now he has Sirius conjunct Mercury, and he has Regulus conjunct Venus. So this he will do very well in business and with women. I am sure that his wife has to be a very pretty lady. I don't know what she looks like, but she should be very beautiful. Typically, when you have Venus in Leo, these are very beautiful women. And then Neptune is conjunct a fixed star called Ras Al Hague. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that or not, but this fixed star rules poisoning. So again, it's like a double whammy, right? You have a fixed star and Neptune also is poisoning. So this is what I have for President Buckley. Now I am going to do the fixed stars of the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, which is right here. So President Biden has 8 out of the 11 points in his chart conjunct fixed stars. And he has one royal star, which is Aldebaran. And it's reference to Archangel Michael, the Watcher of the East. It denotes eloquence, high honors, integrity, popularity, courage, warmongering, agitation, but it is an unfortunate star. Now, the rest of these, you guys can do your own research, and see if you want to, read up on them. And now I will discuss his natal chart. So I had to bring it up first before I share with you guys. So this is President Biden's chart, and he is a Scorpio sun at 27 degrees at the degree of Gemini. He is a Sagittarius rising at 3 degrees, the degree of Gemini. And he has stellium in Scorpio. Now, this Mars, even though it's in the 11th house, can be read in the 12th house. Because again, if a planet is within 3 degrees of the house cusp, which is this little line, you can read it in both places. Okay? So, the moon is exalted in Taurus. So he is popular, I guess, or with the inhabitants of the United States. Now, he has, let me go, Pluto in the 8th house. So in Leo, there is a possibility that he could die while he is leading, right? But he has Jupiter in Cancer. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Um, he has Neptune in the 10th house, and Neptune at the degree of Aries. So Neptune rules petroleum, and it also rules natural gases. It rules, of course, the seaside and photography and other things, but I'm sticking more to 10th house matters. So, 10th house, again, Neptune can deal with very spiritual stuff or criminal activity. It also can indicate that he obtained the presidency using Neptunian ways. Either a lot of people were praying for him, or there were lies and deceit. And that's how he got to be president. And I know that's a hot topic here in the United States, but like I said, I am just reading the chart. Now, the 12th house. The 12th house is behind the scenes stuff, right? Things that happen while nobody's watching and nobody knows. So there could be, Mars rules everything having to do with war, with firearms, weapons, fires, arguments. Mercury rules the mind and the speech, and it's at the 21st degree, so it's the degree of Sag, which deals with foreign countries, with foreigners, foreign corporations. You guys get it. So this, and Mercury also deals with business deals as well. And the sun is there as well. And then the Venus, money and love, is in the 12th house. So all of these things can be going on behind the scenes. So what I found very curious and very interesting is the 5th house, the ruler of the 5th house is Aries. And the ruler of Aries is Mars. Mars is in the 12th house. So a child of his, a man child, um, could be involved in all of this 12th house activity as well. And I will leave it at that for now. So lastly, I wanted to share the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, the list of fixed stars, and President Trump has 10 out of the 11 points conjunct fixed stars. So he has Capella, inquisitiveness, open-mindedness, powerful friends, and it's a fortunate star. He has Pollux. So there could be speculation, audacity, astrology, ruin, disgrace, death, calamity, uh, a heartless judge, and it's an unfortunate star. And then he has Regulus, just like President Buckley, the lion's heart, the most royal star. This is the most powerful star of all the fixed stars. The Archangel Raphael, which is the healing archangel, the watcher of the north, it denotes nobility, ambition, alertness, great power, status, leadership, sudden downfall, accidents, and violence. And it is a fortunate star. So this is the list of stars for President Trump. And you guys, again, can do the research that you want to do and dig a little deeper if you so desire. So let me share now his birth chart. So he has Leo rising in conjunction with Regulus. So again, he is a very power, it's the most powerful fixed star there is. So he is a very powerful leader or a powerful person. Not only before, he became president, but in the corporate world, he has done very well. Midheaven is in Taurus, so he has done a lot of money in real estate, and we all know that. With at 24 degrees, there could have been real estate by the seaside, or it could have been using Neptunian waves as well. He has the moon in Sagittarius at 21 degrees, so in the homeland, right? The fourth house. Now, something that I thought was very interesting, because I thought that he was like uber rich, but it turns out that he's not. He's rich and he makes good money because Jupiter is in the second house. But I thought I would find the aspects to Pluto, meaning that he's like really, really wealthy. But that's not the case. Mars is in Leo at the degree of Cancer. So, Neptune is in the second house at the degree of Leo, which is 5 degrees. So I know that he was in a TV program, right? He was some kind of judge. I don't know what the program was about, but I do remember seeing the program on cable many years ago. So, the fifth degree Leo deals with acting and just being a performer. Now, Neptune in the second house, he could have made money from petroleum and gas, just like President Biden, but also Neptunian ways, you know. Um, so he's another one that does. And the 12th house has Pluto, right? At the degree of Capricorn. So he can have a very heavy hand being a leader. He could be a bully, Pluto, um, and do it behind the scenes. So Mars in the 12th house, that is taking action when nobody's watching. So this can also be um, interesting, to say the least. Now, open enemies, seventh house. Okay, it's in Aquarius. So the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. Uranus is in the 10th house. So open enemies. Uranus is airplanes. It is bombs, explosions, things that happen suddenly, and is in conjunction with his sun, which is at 22 degrees, to kill or be killed. So he needs to be careful if he should become president again, because obviously it didn't happen while he was president the first time, right? But if he should become president again, he needs to be very careful because it talks about, being killed. And or the eighth house starts in Pisces, and this is 23rd degree, so it's an Aquarius degree, right? Uranus. Neptune is the ruler of the eighth house. So somebody could try to poison him with food, or it talks about Aquarius, something that happens on a plane, right? With Uranus there. So while he is president, there could be an attempt on his life. Um, so we'll see what happens this November. And I am going to stop this video at this point. I hope that you have learned how to tie in points in the chart with the planets and the fixed stars, which I thought was very interesting. I think the most powerful chart is Putin because he has 11 out of the 11 points. Um, Trump is 10 out of 11. And then the other ones, I think Joe Biden is 8 and Bukele is 8. And then Milei is 7. So you can see how the fixed stars also influence the natal chart. As always, if you have learned anything from this video, have enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody that is also interested in astrology so they can learn as well. If you want a natal chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. And thank you so much for watching. One thing that I do ask is to keep the comments respectful. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them to the best of my abilities. All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.